All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're talking about landing a client so big they literally print their own money, the government. And look, I know what you're probably thinking, a maze of red tape, right? No, that's not what this is about. This is about an opportunity that is so big, so overlooked by most entrepreneurs. So let's just dive right in with an example to show you exactly what this can look like. Okay, so check this out. On one hand, you've got a wedding photographer working a whole day for $1,500. On the other, a photographer pulling in $70,000 in 1 month. It's the same basic skill, right? But the outcome? Totally different universe. So what gives? What's the secret sauce here? Well, it turns out it's not just about how good you are, it's about who you're working for. And believe me, that jump isn't just a hypothetical. This right here, this is from Dr. Caruana Irving. She's the entrepreneur who made that leap, who went from that small-time hustle to landing that exact $70,000 contract. And her story, well, it's basically the key that unlocks how you can tap into this massive market too. All right, so let's break down that 70 grand photo shoot. How did that even happen? The job was for construction photography. You know, taking pictures of the San Francisco Transbay Transit Center while it was being built. A huge, huge local project. And get this, Dr. Irving was using a simple point-and-shoot camera. We're not talking about some high-end, fancy setup. Before this, she was making maybe $30,000 a year, grinding out these crazy 70-hour weeks. And then, boom, this contract lands in her lap, and this is where it gets really interesting. This is the core of it all. See, they didn't hire her for her amazing artistic skills or to get these beautiful gallery-worthy shots. Nope. They hired her to solve a very specific and very expensive problem. They needed someone to take detailed photos for documentation, to cover their butts, to track progress, to manage all the risks that come with a massive construction project. So to them, she wasn't just a photographer. She was basically a risk manager who happened to use a camera. Now, let's talk about the numbers for a second, because this is just wild. She earned 70 grand. That's more than double her old yearly salary in just 56 hours of work, total, spread out over a whole month. I mean, think about that compared to the old grind of chasing down every little gig. The difference is it's staggering, right? It just proves it wasn't about working harder. It was about finding a client with a much, much bigger problem and, of course, a much bigger wallet to solve it. And this whole story, everything we've talked about, it all comes down to one single powerful mental shift. It's the difference between thinking of yourself as, say, a photographer and thinking of yourself as a problem solver. That right there, that's what we're calling the problem solver mindset. And it is, without a doubt, the master key that unlocks this whole world of government contracts. Okay, so what do I actually mean by a problem solver? It means you look at the government, you see a need they have, and trust me, they have a million of them, and you become the person who brings them the solution. But here's the absolute game changer. You don't even have to be the one doing the work yourself. Your real value, it's in finding the solution and managing the whole project. And if you think that sounds crazy, just look at how this plays out in the real world. You've got a t-shirt company, right? But they didn't just sell t-shirts. They saw the government needed air gas, of all things, so they found a supplier, connected the dots, and bam, a deal worth over $700,000. Or how about a graphic designer? Lands a $20,000 logo contract, turns around and outsources it to someone else for $1,000 and pockets $19,000 in profit. For what? For solving the problem. A hairstylist, selling prosthetic wigs to the VA for $5,000 a pop. They all just saw a problem and became the solution, no matter what their main business was. And this quote right here just sums it all up perfectly. You don't have to be the one doing the work. You just have to be the one who finds the work, gives it to the right people, and manages the whole thing. Basically, your job title changes. You stop being the technician, and you become the general contractor, the big picture person. You're the bridge, the connector. You are the problem solver. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? How do you make this happen? Well, the good news is, this isn't some vague, fluffy idea. There is a real, step-by-step blueprint to follow. Dr. Irving calls it her 4-pillar blueprint. It's all about getting your ducks in a row so you're ready for success. So here they are, the 4 pillars. Pillar number 1, your business foundation. And folks, this is absolutely non-negotiable. You have to be a real, legit business. That means getting your EIN, having the right licenses, and making sure your taxes are squared away. Number 2 is certifications. This is a big one. The government actually sets aside a chunk of its contracts for specific groups, like small businesses or businesses owned by women or veterans. Getting certified can be like having a VIP pass. Third, marketing. And we're not talking about buying a Super Bowl ad here. This is targeted stuff. It's about finding the actual procurement officers, the people who do the buying, and marketing your solutions directly to them. And finally, pillar 4, proposals. You have to learn how to speak their language. That means writing proposals that are super clear, super concise, and give them exactly what they asked for. No more, no less. And you know what the best part about all of this is? Look at that list. Not a single one of those things requires a PhD or a fancy degree. I mean, think about it. Some people spend hundreds of thousands on student loans to get into a certain profession. Here, the path is wide open. The real barrier to entry isn't your diploma. It's just, can you get organized? And can you prove that you're the one who can solve their problem? That's it. Okay, so you've got the mindset, right? You've got the 4-pillar blueprint. So where do you go to find these multi-thousand, even multi-million-dollar problems? Well, the amazing thing is, the government is incredibly transparent about this stuff. They literally post their shopping lists online for everyone to see, every single day. So, for the big federal level stuff, the main place you want to look is sam.gov. That's where you'll find the huge nationwide contracts. But hey, don't sleep on what's happening right in your own backyard. Your city, your county, your state, they all have their own procurement websites where they list local jobs. And honestly, that can be the perfect place to get your feet wet. And then you have specialized departments like the Department of Transportation or Defense. They have their own sites too. Seriously, the opportunities are just everywhere, from the national level all the way down to your local town. So what exactly are they buying with all this money? The short answer, pretty much everything. There's a really simple rule of thumb here. If a regular person buys it, the government probably buys it too, just a lot more of it. They buy products. I'm talking everything from paper clips and bacon all the way up to street sweepers. They buy services, things like janitorial work, catering, but also super high-level project management. And yeah, for all you creatives out there, they absolutely buy creative work too. Photography, video, graphic design, you name it. So the big takeaway here really is this. You have to stop thinking in terms of what your business is. Instead, start looking at those problems listed on the procurement sites and ask yourself a different question. Who could I partner with to solve that? Because success in this game isn't just about being an expert in your one little niche. It's about being resourceful. It's about being a connector. Once you make that mental switch, the government stops feeling like this big, scary, faceless bureaucracy. It starts to look like what it actually is, the biggest potential client you could ever dream of. And let's wrap up by talking about why this client isn't just big, but why they might just be the most reliable partner you'll ever have. Dr. Irving puts it perfectly. She says the government is the best partner you could ever have as an entrepreneur. It's a way to finally get off what she calls the struggle bus, that feeling of always chasing the next small client, constantly worrying about where the next check is coming from. When the government is your client, you can build something truly sustainable, something profitable, on a scale that you probably never even imagined was possible. So that really just leaves us with one final thought to chew on. The opportunities? They're out there. They're online right now. The blueprint for how to get them? It's crystal clear. The only real question left is the one right here. What problem does the government have that you can solve today?